Okay, Abby at 11. I remember several years around that time
Okay,
we do
go.
birthday party. We do birthday parties at the rec I am, and you just take a ton of your friends and we'd spend the day at the rec.
Okay, that one was kind of a lame one by Kathy. All right, I remember when I was at work and Coach Steve Robb, the famous football coach, calls me on the phone and he says, is this Harry Archland? And he said he was Coach Steve Robb. I had no idea why he would be calling me because he always talks to the sports guys. And he started to explain to me that you were okay. You were all right. And I said, well, what happened? Why are you calling me? What happened? And he told me how your friend had it was bee
An
medicine.
EpiPen.
And it was like a little ink pen, but it was bee medicine. And you were screwing around with it, and you poked it right in your thumb, and your thumb swelled up, and you had to go to the hospital. And, Coach Steve Robb either had to take you or he had to get somebody to take you.
No, Lindsay took her, and then I met her at the hospital, and she didn't start to cry until she saw me. She said she was real brave until she saw me. She started to cry, and it was awful because she had to get a whole bunch of shots in her thumb, and oh gosh. We forgot to do the one where she was playing on the exercise bike and fell on the glass coffee table.
Oh.
Yeah, we'll save that for your next year's birthday. Abby at 12, lots of bike riding. I just remember bike riding around Milan all summer with her friend at the time, Morgan, who lived on the other side of the train tracks. You and Morgan just really spent a lot of time together.
Okay, and then there were all the haircuts you gave me. I really enjoyed that, and every time I see my barber now, I go to the little barber downtown, I'll tell him that, well, my daughter used to give me my haircuts.
You need to move that way a little bit because there's a ray of sun that's going across your face. Okay, at Abby at 13, you really started babysitting, and you got so many babysitting jobs. You had to turn people down because you were so popular. And I'm not sure how much you liked the little kids, but they all just idolized you.
Okay, I remember when you called because your key broke off in the Nissan. I think you were driving the Nissan, and I had to come and rescue you. That was just kind of bizarre. I mean, because I think I had to bring pliers or something and help you get the key out. But that was a lot of fun.
Abby at 14, I think that's the year you, no, I'm getting ahead of myself. That's the year the high school coach, you weren't going to be on the swim team, and whoever the high school coach was, maybe Jeremy, called you and asked you if you could please be on the swim team, and you asked him a couple key questions, like, would I have to swim long distance? And when he said no, you'd just do sprinting, then you said, okay, then you'd do it.
Then I'm actually on my last one because I had 14 to do, and this is number 14. But I remember distinctly getting the firewood in Paraguay because that was kind of fun. And then you stacked it up in your shirt,
my cute little pink shirt that I bought in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, and put it on your head. And that was a lot of fun. Okay, now we'll probably be finishing up with Kathy.
Okay, well, now we're entering when you got your first real job, which was teaching swim lessons at the high school pool, and you were a very popular teacher. And a lot of the people you babysat had their kids do swim lessons because then they would know you. And then came babysitting for the Gressleys. Oh my gosh, you became a member of their family. I think when they redid their bedrooms, they moved Evan down to the basement so you'd have a room to sleep in when you ever stayed overnight to sit for them. And the years that you watched Calvin too, I think you learned a lot then. That was probably pretty impactful. Harry, stop goofing around.
Come on, hurry up.
Then 2001, the year you graduated from high school and went to Western. And that was the semester 9/11 happened. So early on in your first semester at Western, that happened. And I remember how scary that was, and us calling each other and you coming home that weekend and not wanting to go back. I think that was a really difficult time.
Happy one, happy one.
Okay. And then the next year, you went to EMU and all the adjustments that were involved in that. We loved having you closer, of course, but I think transferring after a semester is a little hard, but you still had a lot of friends from high school around here. And then you went to Carlsbad Caverns, and that was a turning point for you, I think.
How many did you have?
I did 27, one for each year of her life.
You were only supposed to do half.
I know, but then I decided, wouldn't it be cool to do one for every year of her life?
Okay, I've got to go.
So I'm almost finished. So I'm at 20, Abby at 20, and the Carlsbad Caverns, and I think that really changed your life. And then the next year, the Delft trip to Florence and Rome. And I remember you coming back there and saying, it's not learning I don't like. It's sitting in a classroom doing passive learning that I don't like. But you loved the hands-on learning that happened in Delft's class in Florence and Rome. And so I think that was really an eye-opener for you. And then the next year, University of Derby. And I think you learned a lot there and made a lot of good friends there. And I loved it that you went to England because I'd spent so much time in England when I was a kid. And then I remember the next year, Nell having a seizure and you coming to the hospital, Mike calling you, and what?
Pushing.
Oh, no. This is really a neat memory. This means a lot to me because I called you. You were living at Eastern somewhere and said I was in the hospital with Nell and she'd had a seizure. And I was distressed at the hospital and wasn't getting a lot of information from the doctor. And you came and you took charge. And you said, we want to know this, and the doctor would tell us something, and you'd say, why? And you'd say, have you done this test? And Nell and I were just sort of incapacitated. She had a reason to be. I didn't. And you took charge, and I was just amazed at you at that time. And I remember thinking, she's really become a grown-up. She can handle stuff. Okay, Abby at 24. I remember so much around that time, you driving back and forth out west to either drop Nell off or pick her up or help her move and drive her car back here. And you really did a lot of things to help take care of our family. And then when you were 25, stop. When you were 25, that's when we went to see you in Paraguay. Life-changing for Dad and me. We just loved it. When you were 26 last year, stop. Coming here, and one of the big things I remember is music and how much music is a part of your life and how much you love music. And I love that because I love music too. And then Abby at 27, who knows? But we're so excited to have you in the same area that we'll be at, back within several hours of us, and you'll be starting a new chapter in your life, and it's really exciting. And now Dad and I want to say goodbye to you in a way that we remember you saying goodbye in a family video when you were about 2.